Okwir Jaramogi. I subscribe to the party of UPC. Yeah, that is it.
Yeah, thank you so much. My name is Jimmy Akena, but commonly known as Ching Malo. I'm a member of the Uganda People's Congress.
And my name is Joel Okaotema. I'm a member of the Forum for Democratic Change. This afternoon, we have called you here on what we think is a very important issue. We would like to respond in very specific terms to many utterances that our brother, Honorable Jimmy Akena Obote, has been making regarding this election that we are currently involved in, most particularly his recent remarks that the people of Uganda who would like to vote, who would have loved to vote for him, should now go to the polling stations in January on the 15th, and instead of voting normally, they should write his name on the ballot paper, because he keeps claiming that he was denied the opportunity to appear on the ballot paper. That is the gist of our press conference this afternoon. We think that Honorable Jimmy Akena has every right to complain about him not appearing on the ballot paper. But also we think that he is addressing his grievances recklessly and on platforms that are not relevant, in places where his concerns cannot be addressed. But most importantly, he's addressing his concerns or his grievances in a manner that is not constructive and also not adding any value to the political discourse in the country. At the end of the day, the remarks and all that he keeps saying is reckless and constructive, and is only intended to poison the political environment, particularly in Lango, infect it with anger, so that people don't vote on issues, but people vote on emotions. We are here, therefore, to say that we find that unacceptable. We are his brothers, but we strongly disagree with what he is doing. We also strongly want to recommend or advise the people of Lango to disregard his tantrums. I call them tantrums because that is not how a mature political leader who would like to lead the country should be handling issues that touch on the law, issues that touch on his rights as a politician, and issues that touch on the rights and the responsibilities of the voters. If people went to the polling stations and wrote his name on the ballot paper, does that add any value to the voters, to Honorable Jimmy Akena, to the party Uganda People's Congress? Does that stop whoever will have gotten more votes on the 15th of January from winning the elections? But does that make any contribution to the aspirations of the people who subscribe or who would like to vote for the Uganda People's Congress? Right now, our view, collective view, is that Lango should be participating in the full-blown discourse related to transition. Whether we like it or not, that discussion is happening in every corner of this country, except here. And it's not happening here because our focus as a people has been hijacked by our brother, Honorable Jimmy Akena, and that focus, he has that lens on himself now, because for some reason he keeps thinking that Lango is his playground. we would like him to use his influence, the influence that he has some following here. There's no doubt about that. But he will not be serving those followers by doing what he's doing. In fact, instead he should be mobilizing them to participate fully in the political discourse related to this election, the transition that is already underway, the development agenda that the different political parties have brought to the people. We think that would be a better way to use this influence instead of taking people to non-issues. As I wind up, I also think that our brother Honorable Jimmy Akena needs to, you see, in politics, a politician must learn to take responsibility. Makes you human, makes you look more normal, you look sober, if you take responsibility for where you have made mistakes. On the question of who is responsible for him not appearing on the ballot paper, my honest view is that it is solely Honorable Jimmy Akena who carries that responsibility. It's nobody else. Museveni, to deny him the opportunity, is not borne out by simple facts. Robert Kyagulanyi, on all accounts, is a more potent opponent of the president, and yet he was allowed onto the ballot paper. Or in fact, using the word allowed is even wrong. Robert Kyagulanyi is on the ballot paper on account of the laws of the land, the constitution, and the aspirations of his party. And that is how people get onto the ballot paper. It's not that somebody must allow me or deny me. The law allows all of us to run. Once you have the requisite academic qualifications, once you raise the required signatures from a certain number of districts in the country, once you pay a certain amount of money, that we all know, even independents who qualify are running. I therefore find it difficult to believe that our brother Honorable Jimmy Akena has a valid claim in relation to being blocked from appearing on the ballot paper by anybody. He needs to take responsibility because nobody else bears that blame. Scapegoating any individual for his own failure will not address the questions that he needs to address to make sure that he can be on the ballot paper in 2031. Some of these issues are structural issues in the Uganda People's Congress. Some of these issues are academic. They relate to the requisite academic documents. Some of these issues relate to the internal organization within the party. I can say here confidently that unless he addresses those issues that are internal, he may still not be able to appear on the ballot paper in 2031, even if that were to be possible. To focus on the issues that matter, because the next 5 years, we cannot be absent from the development discourse and the transitional agenda that this country is already implementing. I want to stop here and allow my brothers to make their remarks.
Lao cannot be isolated, and nobody should ever think EOC can isolate Lao from the national cause. I want to begin, as I address you and address the nation, that this country is one under the same constitution. The people of this country are governed by the laws of the country, the laws of the land. The people of Lao are part of the citizens of this country, whose responsibilities are addressed in the Constitution of the 1995. We particularly call you because we find it inadequate that somebody deliberately wants to isolate the people of Lango from the national cause. We are about only 1 month away from participating in an election that will determine where we want to be as a people. Lao are very good, hard-working people, law-abiding, and we believe in the Almighty. And because of that, we are approaching this election because this election is going to be a transitional one. And if it is a transitional election, I want to leave the question of the transition in context, because we have seen in various elections within political parties where the older generation are now shifting responsibility to the younger people, your age mates. And that is the essence of transition. And as we pursue the transition, development come along the way with all that happens in election. We have 8 presidential candidates nominated and they are participating in the campaigns. Unfortunately, many more people would have wished to participate in this election. That means they could have also appeared on the ballot papers. But because either individually or collectively, they were not vigilant enough, some of them now have begun holding people responsible for their failures. The wise man's context would always say, lack of planning on your side should not cause an inconvenience to other persons, and in this context, to the people of Lango and to the people of this country. UPC, a political party I strongly believe in, has made no mistake. But I think people who have held offices have made tremendous mistake, which unfortunately they want to blame it onto other people. I want to be particular here that my brother Jimmy Akena has made his personal mistake. Where he has decided to make this mistake, I don't know. When he was making this mistake, the people of Lango were not consulted. When he was making a political mistake, the country was not consulted. UPC has various organs of the party. We have the National Council, we have the Cabinet, we have the Delegates Conference. Not a single one was called to determine the future of UPC and how UPC could have participated in this election. Today, my brother Honorable Jimmy Akena, with no respect to the people of this country who believe in UPC, with no respect to members of UPC, with no respect to the people of Lango, has decided to put his voice, telling people to go and write his name onto the ballot paper. Whatever happens onto a ballot paper that does not conform to the legality of voting is considered invalid. So are people who are going to participate in this election and you decide that you are going to write Honorable Jimmy Akena's name, in the first place you become invalid voter. So do the people of Lango and the people of this country who believe in UPC want, before they get to election, want to become invalid voters? So just to think you are going to write Akena's Jimmy, you are already an invalid voter. So who invalidates you? Is it Honorable Jimmy Akena or the creator who created you and gave you the brain? So we want to be very particular here. Lango needs to move forward. Lango needs to get development as other parts of this country. And I want to call upon my brother. He has the privilege of being born to the late President Obote, but he has no privilege to cause shame to the family of Obote. And he has no privilege to cause shame to the people of UPC. This party does not belong to him, it belongs to the people of this country. Even those who are not yet born. So we are not going to allow him to say that, to continue to say that. and people who believe the way he does, please, can you forgive this country? Can you forgive the people of Lango? Lango needs to move forward. Lango has particular issues they want to address in the transitional period between now to 2031. A city like this one needs to move faster than what we are seeing today. Lango needs to get better infrastructures in terms of roads, in terms of schools, in terms of health facility, that is buildings of hospitals. Lango are already asking for two things. One, the two new districts. They are asking for a Rute district. They are asking for a Bear district. These are fundamental things Lango needs. Lango is already asking for a complete bridge that connects Lango to the other parts of the world. Lango is asking to be connected to Bunyoro. We are asking for a airport, not an airfield. It's only people who participate and vote wisely and vote correctly in this coming election will reap. We should forget that this is not Western democracy. Here the winner takes it all. And our common proverb here, that you scratch my back, I will also as well does scratch your back. So as we go for this election by boycotting to vote, directly what are we sending? We will be telling the country that we are not going to be part of this country for the next 5 years. And how foolish would we be, including the Jaramogi? I want to disassociate myself from that level of the thinking. I am very glad and happy that all you people in the media are young people. We want you to move outside the scare and the phobia of confronting these people who have derailed the future and the development of this land. Please, can you walk out? You are the cream, you are the brain, you are the future, you are the source of information that guides the future of this land, the future of this country. Honorable Jimmy Akena has failed UPC, and I want to advise our members of UPC that if all your trust was only in Jimmy Akena, you better get back to the house and begin identifying the best opportunity for UPC. I want also to be frank here. If in Lango here we only see potential for leadership in the house of Obote, I'm happy to say that Obote still has 3 more boys. You can as well invite them so that we begin to try them and identify them and try them. If that is your thinking, that only leadership for presidents in this country and from Lango here can only come from Dr. Obote's house, then we have 3 more boys. I say this with a very deep heart, with a big pain, very deep pain, because we wanted to see UPC moving forward. UPC can deliver for this country. It has demonstrated that it can lead this country. Weaknesses Lango as a community has had is to assume that UPC is Lango and Lango is UPC. And because of this miscalculation, this thing called UPC has been built in Lango here in a cultic manner. Cultic, evil manner, that you cannot wake up and begin confronting and arguing with somebody who believes wrongly and cultically in UPC, even if they make a mistake. I want to say this. The wise man has said the world is a bad place because people who know what to do have chosen to keep quiet. I don't want to be counted among those who know what to do and choose to keep quiet. We have taken a very deeper route. We have moved along the memory lane We have seen how much this thing called UPC. Look at my age. I was not there when UPC was in government.
Yeah. You were there, but young.
I was there and very young. I didn't know. So what merit, what benefit do I have that UPC has presented to me and my generation and you people? Do you have any one single thing UPC has given to you? Do you live because of UPC? You are struggling to see that you move forward. And we must move forward as a country. So, beyond this press conference, we have come out, a good number of us. We are mobilizing the community of this Lango to champion the right cause for the people of Lango. A void that was left by Musea Tiauti, by Matt Cecilia Ogwal, by the late Opola Pelo. We would call the people of Lango should there be an issue. The Okuli Park. The late Wonyashi Yosha Muduru. When we were moving, we had run out of home. He came up together to demonstrate leadership, join up with the Honorable Kotogong, went to government, asked the government, asked the president, please, even at a time when the president did not believe in us, at a time when the president could not trust us with the gun, they demonstrated leadership. Our gallant people of Lango accepted. Our parents accepted. Across political divide, across religious divide, across clan divide, they accepted to receive the gun to confront the dilemma that was coming to eat all the people of Lango. When that was done, the issue is a political direction and the democratic trajectory. How do we move as a people towards development as well? So all of us, the few of us here you see, with some silent voices who are outside, we are talking to the people of Lango to come out boldly, disregard this cultic mentality, where somebody must tell us what is good for us.
Actually, just to correct something there, we are not the few of us. We are very many. If you remember the other time at Lira Hotel when we mobilized over 2,500 UPC supporters who are backing this idea.
Yeah,
so we are not few.
Yeah, in their context, we can be seen to be few. But I think when you want to count to 1 million, you begin with the number 1. The Chinese also have their say that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. So we are here, we have already started. With this voice, the big voice of the media, please come help us. We are mobilizing the people of Lango and people who listen to us.
Thank you.
Come up, vote, demonstrate your leadership, demonstrate your rights, demonstrate your freedom to vote. And in this case, I think we are not going to mince our word. I think President Museveni comes out very strongly on top to be voted for as the president in this election. I thank you.
Awan, part of Eastern region, I am known as Awan Chingmalo. I want to be as much as brief as my two other colleagues have spoken and spoken well. I want to bring the personality of my friend Jimmy Akena first before I say anything here. I got to know my elder brother Jimmy James Akena in 2005 when he returned from exile, and we caught up as friends and began our journey, political journey, from 2005 to actually now that we are trying to, deviate in a way. In 2005, Jimmy offered himself as a member of parliament for Lira municipality by then, and we had hopes in him that 2011 we are going now to face the national challenge. But in 2011, we had another candidate who came in between, in the names of Dr. Ambassador Olara Tunu, whom we did not support as a party. For reasons best known to my friend Jimmy, and could be the family and some few members of UPC. Now, in 2016, when Jimmy now took the mantle as the party president for Uganda People's Congress, we had hopes in him. We were highly prepared for the 2016 election, which did not materialize. We were told, you know, we're not yet ready, we need to mobilize, we need to put structures here and there. Then we waited. But at the same time, we were being instructed to go and solicit votes for another candidate in the names of President Museveni, of which we did, as his loyal cadres. Now in 2021, we were approached for the second time, which we did actually the third time now. Because in 2011, we did not support Olara, we went for President Museveni. In 2016, the same thing. In 2021, we were again approached, and we did exactly what our party president and the top brass of the party wanted us to do. Our expectations that in 2026, we were now going to battle it out with the rest of other parties across this country. But to our dismay, we started seeing some kind of gimmicks being played here and there. When some of us, the few of us, heard about it, we approached him, we told him one-on-one in a meeting, we discussed it about his candidature of 2026. Now, when things were getting out of hand, we decided, the few of us who are strong-hearted, we went on radio. I remember some of you hosted us on radio stations. And we stated clearly that the UPC Constitution, Article number 14, Clause 3, bars Honorable Jimmy from contesting as the, first of all, the party president of UPC, and secondly, as the president of what? Of the country, under Uganda People's what? Congress. So now, my main issue that I want to bring here, what was it in 2011 that did not make our brother to contest? He rallied all his support and supporters to rally behind President Museveni. What was that made him not to contest in 2016? What was that alliance for? The alliance that saw him bring his wife to the cabinet of the same man that today is disagreeing with. Now, my issue here is a national election. We have got 8 candidates, like he put it rightly, 8 candidates, actually as presidents of the country. Now, among these 8 candidates, we have got our rights, constitutional rights, to choose one from them. And by not voting means we are actually disassociating ourselves from the rest of the country, as he has put it. So as now, I want to urge my people, the people of UPC, it is your right to go openly mobilize for the president of your choice. And in this case, we are saying we mobilize for President Museveni because we still see something in him. Me personally, I'm not too much engaged to those of Bobi Wine, those of Nyangwagwa, the rest of them. At least I am now familiar with who? President Museveni. Now, if you are a candidate and you are not now in the ballot, and you still have that interest of contesting, maybe in the future elections, now, how do you begin behaving like that? In the next coming election of 2031, how are you going to be viewed by the rest of the country? How are you going to present yourself to Baganda? How are you going to present yourself to Eastern? How are you going to present yourself to even the neighborhood here in Acholela? So I want to advise my brother, Honorable Jimmy James. I have known you as a peacemaker for long. I have known you not to be a man of emotions and anger. All these utterances you're bringing, my honorable, I request that please refrain, calm down. In fact, we should have elders of Lango talk to Honorable Jimmy, because Honorable Jimmy right now needs people to talk to. He should not be isolated. He's one of us. I personally, I'm going to call him after this interview. I'm going to call him, talk to him. If he gives me that audience, I will go to him, even this night or tomorrow, to talk to him about these issues. These are national matters, issues of importance. We can't joke about it. It is not about him and Museveni. It is about how the country moves forward. So how do we position ourselves as now? How do we position ourselves as UPC? So that in the national scenery, we are also somewhere. Now look at how our Cholis are actually positioning themselves. Look at the Bagiso here. Look at the Baganas. What about now? We are not anywhere. I've been telling people this politics of intrigues, politics of hatred. Let us have issues. Issues that will foster developments in Laos, not issues that it is too personal. Because now the issue that is prompting my brother Jimmy seems it is a personal issue, not issues of national importance. So I request that elders from Laos should not just look at Jimmy, because our future is not only with him. It is not only in his hands. We have got people, we have got religious leaders, we have got cultural leaders, we have got opinion leaders. If he doesn't want dialogue, because I've known him as somebody who needs dialogue. Even Konya. Remember when Konya was in the bush? What happened with Museveni, Konya and Museveni? These people could not talk. But now they're not talking. They have been peace talk. There's now security out of the peace talk. Now I'm challenging my brother, if it is true that you do not want Museveni, you do not want the people of Laos to vote for Museveni. If it is true, you want the people of Laos to vote for you because of the grievances you have with the big man, I am saying that tomorrow, request your wife, who is a minister in the cabinet, to resign. That way we are going to believe. That way, I repeat it, we are going to believe. If you have your one leg inside and the other one outside, that one does not work. We have got responsibilities, we have got issues to handle as Laos. So now, I was also asking myself that, what could have happened? When, at the time, they were in the agreement, we were not involved. Secondly, the agreement reached to an ultimatum whereby the wife is being taken as a minister in Museveni's government. The brother works with Museveni in Museveni's government. Everything surrounding the family is rotating around President Museveni. And there comes today when they're asking us again to dissociate ourselves. Now, I can't tell what happened between the two. That is between them now. And for us, we don't want to be part and parcel of that. We want to steer Lango to a direction which is what? Prosperous. That is all I can say.
2 decades to war. We lost everything. After concerted efforts by the political leadership, the security leadership, and our own sons and daughters who enrolled into the Amuka paramilitary force, we now have an opportunity to engage in productive activities and get our people out of poverty, working together, not only among ourselves but also with the government, and any government in power for that matter. So as a people, we should run away from discourses that distract us from trying to recover from the 20 years of war. If other parts of Uganda are working with regards to development, we should be running.
Yes.
Because we lost 20 years. The current distractions by Honorable Jimmy Akena they're not helping us to move forward boldly, decisively, and recover what we lost. We must reject this as a people. 2, many of us have come out, and I must say we have we have come out to challenge our brother Honorable Jimmy Akena, but we don't have an option, because this matter can derail Lango and take us away from the rest of Uganda. There's no way that we in this generation are going to allow our brother to single-handedly derail all of us. We have a stake in these matters. If there is one political party that has grown in Lango organically over the last 10 years, it's actually NRM. I'll say that boldly here. And that has happened because of the political miscalculations of Honorable Jimmy Akena. Let's be honest. So he's not only responsible for his own failure to be on the ballot paper, he's also responsible for the growth of NRM in Lango. Now he cannot come here now and start mobilizing us. Because let's face it, all that he is doing, all that he is saying are not meant for anybody else. They're meant for the people of Lango, because in his mind, this is the bedrock of UPC. But as his brothers, we would like to disassociate ourselves and those who think like us from his misinformed position, and also to say, look, this is about ego. This is not about our future. This is about one man's frustration because of things that could have gone wrong that are not entirely our responsibility. This deal with the president was never discussed here in Lango. No, but Mao joined the government. He met actually leaders and discussed with them their strategic interests.
The party leaders.
And he is in government representing the strategic interests of his people. Ours here was a discussion between our brother Honorable Akena,
Wife.
and his beloved wife Honorable Beta Mongi, and his cousin Honorable Akora on one side, and the president on the other. Nowhere in this region, sub-region, was a single meeting held, whether with the UPC structures or the elders or the church or the young people, to discuss the participation of Jimmy and his wife in the NRM government.
Alliance.
But now that things have gone 2 decades to war, we lost everything. After concerted efforts by the political leadership, the security leadership, and our own sons and daughters who enrolled into the Amuka paramilitary force, we now have an opportunity to engage in productive activities and get our people out of poverty, working together, not only among ourselves, but also with the government, and any government in power, for that matter. So as a people, we should run away from discourses that distract us from trying to recover from the 20 years of war. If other parts of Uganda are working with regards to development, we should be running.
Yes.
Because we lost 20 years. The current distractions by Honorable Jimmy Akena they're not helping us to move forward boldly, decisively, and recover what we lost. We must reject this as a people. 2, many of us have come out, and I must say we have we have come out to challenge our brother Honorable Jimmy Akena, but we don't have an option, because this matter can derail Lango and take us away from the rest of Uganda. There's no way that we in this generation are going to allow our brother to single-handedly derail all of us. We have a stake in these matters. I will say this. If there is one political party that has grown in Lango organically over the last 10 years, it's actually NRM. I'll say that boldly here. And that has happened because of the political miscalculations of Honorable Jimmy Akena. Let's be honest. So he's not only responsible for his own failure to be on the ballot paper, he's also responsible for the growth of NRM in Lango. Now he cannot come here now and start mobilizing us. Because let's face it, all that he is doing all that he is saying are not meant for anybody else. They're meant for the people of Lango, because in his mind, this is the bedrock of UPC. But as his brothers, we would like to disassociate ourselves and those who think like us from his misinformed position, and also to say, look, this is about ego. This is not about our future. This is about one man's frustration because of things that could have gone wrong that are not entirely our responsibility. This deal with the president was never discussed here in Lango. No, but Mao joined the government. He met actually leaders and discussed with them their strategic interests.
The party leaders.
And he is in government representing the strategic interests of his people. Ours here was a discussion between our brother Honorable Akena,
Wife,
and his beloved wife Honorable Beta Mongi, and his cousin Honorable Akora on one side, and the president on the other. Nowhere in this region, sub-region, was a single meeting held, whether with the UPC structures or the elders or the church or the young people, to discuss the participation of Jimmy and his wife in the NRM government.
Alliance.
But now that things have gone 2 decades to war, we lost everything. After concerted efforts by the political leadership, the security leadership, and our own sons and daughters who enrolled into the Amuka paramilitary force, we now have an opportunity to engage in productive activities and get our people out of poverty, working together, not only among ourselves, but also with the government, and any government in power, for that matter. So as a people, we should run away from discourses that distract us from trying to recover from the 20 years of war. If other parts of Uganda are working with regards to development, we should be running.
Yes.
Because we lost 20 years. The current distractions by Honorable Jimmy Akena they're not helping us to move forward boldly, decisively, and recover what we lost. We must reject this as a people. 2, many of us have come out, and I must say we have we have out to challenge our brother Honorable Jimmy Akena, but we don't have an option, because this matter can derail Lango and take us away from the rest of Uganda. There's no way that we in this generation are going to allow our brother to single-handedly derail all of us. We have a stake in these matters. I will say this. If there is one political party that has grown in Lango organically over the last 10 years, it's actually NRM. I'll say that boldly here. And that has happened because of the political miscalculations of Honorable Jimmy Akena. Let's be honest. So he's not only responsible for his own failure to be on the ballot paper, he's also responsible for the growth of NRM in Lango. Now he cannot come here now and start mobilizing us. Because let's face it, all that he is doing, all that he is saying are not meant for anybody else. They're meant for the people of Lango, because in his mind, this is the bedrock of UPC. But as his brothers, we would like to disassociate ourselves and those who think like us from his misinformed position, and also to say, look, this is about ego. This is not about our future. This is about one man's frustration because of things that could have gone wrong that are not entirely.
Structures who are championing this cause. And after this press conference, we are going to alert our structures and tell them which way forward so that we move in the same manner and same phase. We have got people, we are going to meet people, we shall be in discussions with our structures and people who matters in the political arena of Lango so that we see how to place Lango in this transitional election. Thank you.
We have done a lot already. The last 2 months we have been on the road in Lango, on radio stations, in the communities. We have been talking to people because we think that this time the decisions being made matter. And so this press conference is just one thing we are doing out of the many that we have already done. Remember when we started, we set out, we are five, we set out to come out boldly to attack the fear factor that holds Lango hostage because people felt you could not challenge our brother Jimmy Akena. You could not say anything contrary to his position. So our first mission was to come out everywhere to tell people that the fear that you have of our brother or of the party is actually a false fear, is in our minds. And that for us to move forward as a people, we must liberate ourselves from those fears, from that kind of fear. And so we have done a lot, and that's why you see many other people, many other voices have come up. The elders of UPC, they have come up. They are an additional factor that came alive because we led the way in saying, do not fear when it comes to fighting for the future of Lango in the context of this place called Uganda. And that we will not be held hostage by political interests that are not focusing on the future. Especially those interests that focus only on the interest of individuals, not on the collective interest of the people of Lango. Is there another question?
No.